Did you know that Taylor Swift's first purchase was a convertible Lexus, identical to the one Regina George drove in Mean Girls? Today, we're going to show you the 12 first purchases of celebrities. Here, you'll see how these stars indulged in luxurious items like cars and watches, while others chose to spend their first earnings helping the people who always believed in them. Let's watch it. It's fascinating. Taylor Swift. If you pay attention to the lyrics of many of her songs, you'll notice a recurring theme: her high school experiences. The singer, who was a victim of bullying, hasn't been shy about speaking up about the pain she endured during her school years. In fact, the movie Mean Girls represents a window into the reality she lived, showcasing the cruel bullying faced by young girls like her. In a surprising turn, Taylor decided to transform that pain into a symbolic and powerful statement. As a huge fan of the movie starring Lindsay Lohan, when she earned her first paychecks from performing at small concerts, she bought a Lexus SC430 convertible, identical to the one Regina George drove in the film. In an interview, the singer confessed that all the girls who bullied her in high school idolized the plastics from Mean Girls, so she chose the same car as the villain from the movie as an act of rebellion against them. Taylor remembers that instead of going to parties like the popular girls at school, she wrote songs and gave her first concerts. So, as soon as she saved enough money, she bought the same car they adored, as a way of telling them that he who laughs last, laughs best. Timothée Chalamet. When he earned his first paycheck after starring in a Disney commercial, he didn't hesitate to spend it on something that truly excited him. With his New York heart beating for the Knicks, he decided to invest his earnings in season tickets for the basketball team, believing he would witness the arrival of the legendary LeBron James. Back then, rumors had led the Dune star to believe that it was a sure thing that the NBA superstar would sign with the Knicks. But his dream was dashed in the blink of an eye when LeBron chose to join the Miami Heat instead. Despite attending a few games, he quickly lost interest in the team and found himself with dozens of tickets he didn't need. From then on, he spent countless afternoons after school selling the tickets at prices below their market value, trying to recover at least a small portion of his investment. But without a star like LeBron James on the Knicks, it took him a long time to get rid of those tickets. Selena Gomez. In an interview with Harper's Bazaar, the singer admitted that her first major purchase was an expensive Louis Vuitton laptop bag. The young star confessed that while she wanted to project the image of a businesswoman who needed to carry all her important things, the reality was quite different, as the stylish bag only contained her lip gloss and her laptop. Still, Selena had a clear vision of what she wanted her future to be. Aside from being a music superstar, her dream of becoming a successful businesswoman came true in 2020 when she launched the makeup brand Rare Beauty, with a focus on inclusion and mental wellness. She allocates part of her income to the Rare Impact Fund, an organization dedicated to supporting mental health. More than a businesswoman, the Love On singer is truly a mogul in the fashion and cosmetics industries. Her contracts with Puma and Coach bring her tens of millions of dollars, which, combined with the value of her Rare Beauty brand, have earned her a fortune of no less than $1.3 billion. Cardi B. When the New Yorker burst onto the music scene, she made it clear she was ready to shine, literally. In an interview, she confessed that her first splurge was a $60,000 Patek Philippe watch. Although she thought she should have used the money for a car, she followed the advice of her friends who told her that as a super famous rapper, she had to shine big. Although spending nearly all her money on a single item was a risky investment, when she met the rap group Migos, they instantly bonded over the Patek Philippe on her wrist. The band even referenced the famous Swiss brand in several of their songs. Since that purchase, Cardi B has continued to profess her love for fine watches and now boasts an impressive collection of models from brands like Audemars Piguet, Rolex, and of course, her favorite, Patek Philippe. Will Smith. In February 1988, Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff released Parents Just Don't Understand, a single that became a massive hit and made them millionaires in the blink of an eye. The song, featured on their album He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper, not only earned them 3 platinum records, but also won them a Grammy and solidified Will as an up-and-coming star. With so much money flowing in, the singer got carried away by the moment and decided to do something bold. He called the Gucci store in Atlanta and asked them to close the store to the public so he and his friends could shop without the crowds. But the luxury was short-lived, as the duo's next album flopped commercially and reality hit hard. After countless reckless spending and a wild lifestyle, he forgot to pay his taxes and was sentenced to pay $2.8 million to the IRS. Luckily, he landed the starring role in the hugely successful TV show The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But during its early seasons, he had to use nearly all his salary to pay off the back taxes. Matt LeBlanc. 30 years ago, when he auditioned for the role that would change his life, Matt was practically broke. The day he auditioned for the role of Joey Tribbiani on Friends, he had only $11 in his pocket and no idea how he would survive the next day. At that critical moment, he faced the harsh reality. Maybe acting wouldn't be enough, and he would have to give up his dream to get what he called a real job. Just when it seemed like the end was near, luck knocked on his door unexpectedly. He got the role, and what started as a modest sitcom became a global phenomenon, earning him over $136 million throughout his run on the show. When asked what he did with his first paycheck, the answer was simple but telling. He went to a restaurant to have dinner because he was so broke that all he wanted was to eat. Without a doubt, Matt will remember that dinner for the rest of his life, as it was the moment his career took off, and he earned a fortune that ensured he'd never have to worry about food again. Tom Cruise. In 2022, Tom Cruise reached an impressive milestone. His accumulated earnings surpassed $1 billion, cementing him as one of the biggest stars in Hollywood history. With his triumphant return in Top Gun, Maverick, he broke records by generating $100 million in its first week of release. But if you travel back about 40 years, you'll see that in his early days, he used his modest earnings to help his family. In an interview on The Graham Norton Show, Tom proudly recalled how he spent his first significant paycheck. He paid his sister's college tuition. As soon as he received his second check, he bought a car for his other sister, showing that his family was always his priority. However, the actor isn't shy about indulging himself. Since becoming one of the highest-paid stars, he has amassed an impressive collection of cars and planes. It's even speculated that he bought land on the moon through the lunar embassy, despite the fact that the sale has no legal basis, as international agreements state that no nation or individual can claim territory on planets or moons in the solar system. George Clooney. There's no doubt that the Oscar winner has a generous heart. After all, he supports countless charitable causes for war refugees and child health. But the truth is that his generosity dates back many years, to when he was an unknown actor with not a dollar to his name. In his humble beginnings, he went through tough times and even ended up living in a friend's closet because he couldn't afford rent. As if that experience wasn't peculiar enough, he shared the space with his friend's grandmother, who was also his roommate. During a chat with his co-star Julia Roberts to promote the film Ticket to Paradise, George revealed how he decided to spend his first big paycheck and surprised everyone with a story that reflected his altruistic nature. His friend's grandmother had an old TV without a remote control, so she had to get up from the couch every time she wanted to change the channel. As soon as he received his first paycheck, he bought her a TV with a remote so she could watch her favorite shows more comfortably. This anecdote reveals that even in the toughest days, he already knew that greatness isn't measured by fame or fortune, but by the small acts of kindness that make a difference. Jennifer Lopez. On the day Jennifer Lopez celebrated her 50th birthday in 2019, her then-fiancé Alex Rodriguez surprised her with a luxurious gift, a Porsche 911 GTS convertible. The singer and actress couldn't hide her astonishment and even revealed that she had never driven a car like that before. After all, it's a sports car valued at $160,000, capable of exceeding 186 miles per hour. The luxurious German car was light years away from the modest 1980s Honda hatchback she drove back in the In Living Color days, a comedy series where she took her first steps as an actress. That car had been a gift from the show's creator, Keenan Ivory Wayans, because back then, Jennifer had no money and needed a car to get to her countless auditions. In an interview, she revealed that the humble Honda was more than just a means of transportation. It was actually a companion that saw her fight for every opportunity. But everything changed when she finally landed a regular role on TV. With her first big paycheck, she decided to treat herself to something special, a luxurious Mercedes-Benz. J.Lo recalls that the feeling of driving her new car was indescribable, but the excitement was mixed with nostalgia, as that purchase marked the end of her professional struggles and the beginning of a successful career in both film and music, earning her a fortune of $400 million, with which she can now buy any car she desires. Henry Cavill. Long before advocating for environmental conservation by driving an electric Audi, the Justice League star used to cruise the streets in a modest Peugeot 206. During his appearance on The Graham Norton Show, he humorously recalled how that car became a true nightmare, mostly because it lacked power and struggled to climb the typical hills of England. After landing his first major role, for which he was paid millions, and tired of dealing with his old clunker, he decided to find a solution with the help of his father. When they arrived at the dealership, he was captivated by the Audi R8, a German supercar capable of accelerating from 0 to 62 miles per hour in less than 4 seconds. But his father, with an eye for detail and luxury, persuaded him to go for a true English classic, the Aston Martin DBS. Seeing the lines of this iconic sports car, he remembered it was the same one James Bond drove in Casino Royale, and even though it cost nearly double the Audi R8, he couldn't resist and left the dealership driving his new Aston Martin. The most curious part was that his father enjoyed the car so much, he almost claimed it as his own, forcing Henry to set up a kind of schedule so they could both take turns behind the wheel and feel the power of its 510 horsepower V12 engine. Shaquille O'Neal. Just before officially entering the NBA, Shaquille O'Neal got his first taste of wealth when he received a $1 million sponsorship deal. After taxes, he was left with $600,000, and without wasting any time, he headed to a Mercedes-Benz dealership. As soon as he laid eyes on one of the most expensive models from the German brand, he paid $150,000 without even negotiating a discount with the salesman, then showed up at his parents' house with his new toy. As soon as his father saw the Mercedes, he asked, "Where's mine?" Being a grateful son for all the sacrifices his father made to raise him, Shaq didn't hesitate for a second and returned to the dealership to buy an identical Mercedes. Having already spent $300,000, he didn't stop there. He also bought a car for his mother and other luxury items to adjust to his new life as an NBA star. Everything seemed perfect, until a few days later when he received a worrying call from the bank. He was overdrawn by $80,000. Surprised and alarmed, O'Neal listened to the advice of the bank manager, an old acquaintance, who told him not to waste his money and end up bankrupt like other athletes. Those words stuck with him and marked a turning point in his financial life. Using that wise advice, he built his own business empire, which includes 155 Five Guys Burgers franchises, 40 24-hour fitness franchises, 17 Auntie Annie's Pretzels franchises, 150 car washes, and several nightclubs in Las Vegas, giving him a fortune of $500 million. Jennifer Aniston. Like many other celebrities, as soon as Jennifer Aniston got her first paycheck, she went straight to buy a luxury car to reflect her status as a film and TV star. The difference, however, is that her dream of buying that car began a couple of years earlier, as she would always pass by a dealership on Melrose Avenue in Los Angeles, where they had a Mercedes-Benz SL 280 convertible, a true classic on wheels, within reach of very few wallets. For 2 years, she told herself that car would be hers. So, as soon as she had enough money, she paid $13,000 for the Mercedes and drove it through the streets, feeling like the queen of the world. Unfortunately, the joy didn't last long. After driving it for a few days, it wouldn't start due to a strange mechanical failure, and that's when she realized why the car had been for sale for so long. Having not had it checked by a mechanic before purchasing, the dream turned into an expensive mistake, but it left her with a valuable lesson. However, this wasn't the end of Jennifer's adventure with luxury cars, as over the years she's owned models like the Bentley Continental GT, a Porsche 911, and a Range Rover. But this time, she preferred to buy them new to avoid experiencing another disaster on wheels like that Mercedes-Benz SL 280. Now tell me, what would your first purchase be if you were famous? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Here are 2 options that you'll surely love.